Oh my goodness. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're running a little late today. How we doing? It's January, halfway through January almost already. January 14th, 2023. Sips and buds, how you guys doing? What's up? Glad to see you make it. Open panel tonight. And same old, same old. Oh, I gotta. It's running late tonight. It's rainy up here. Rainy up here on the north coast of California. That's for sure. Living the dream. How's the weather out there in the southwest? Are you getting some of this rain that we're getting? I don't know. Oh, let's see. You got any questions? Anything you want to talk about? I guess I can post a link and we can start the content. Hey, Brent Anderson, good to see you, sir. Let's see. I think next week is that scheduled. I guess we could talk about it later. We want to do the Cowboy Cup thing. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. I haven't heard back from James Brewery. Well, he did. The last time I heard from him said he was going to come on, so I think that's still the case. But some of the other people I reached out to said, nah, they didn't have any interest in talking about it at all. So no content tonight. Well, show us how you trim, Sips. You do that. But maybe it'll be a short show tonight. That's fine. I got a few things to do. But yeah, we're getting rain on here, boy. What's interesting, though, actually, I don't think it's interesting, but how much it's been raining. We usually get a lot of rain in Crescent City. All the rain that we've had, we're still less than 80% of year-to-date rainfall. The rest of the state is way up there, but we're not even normal yet. Go figure. Oh, what else? Anything else? Anything else interesting? I got my taxes done. Busted out my taxes this week. I hate that. I hate bookkeeping. Now I got to send it off to my bookkeeper. Well, one of these, hey, Dog Pound, one of these guys, I forgot the guy back east who does birds. I have a question for him for his fowl. That's my big boy. He's a neat little kitty. He's a big boy, big fluffy, good boy behind me. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I got. Did I drop the link? I did. So I don't know. I got a few of these to catch up on. Not put ketchup on them. I need to get them in, or it's too late. So quiet. Anything going on? Any questions? There we go. Okay. There we go. I don't know a whole lot about this. Interesting question, Mr. Bastard. Interesting question. Maybe we could talk about that. Good to see you, Vester. What's your connection with Subco? I'm curious. You've we all miss Subco, but I'm kind of curious what your connection is, if you don't mind. So this could be real boring. You'll see how boring this is if I don't get any. Oh, you were a tester. Were you one that did you do the one where I sent happy endings T? Did you do that? The A, B, and C and the happy endings T test? I'm curious. All right. There you go. And I think Mr. Dogpound, if I'm not mistaken, moved from the cold northeast to the south. I'm wondering how you're liking that move. Kind of curious how you're liking your move to the south. Anyways, anybody got anything on leaf temperatures? No, yes. If we don't got content, I'm gonna have to bust out my goose. I have a this is actually a question. I'm sorry, off topic. Oh well, for the bird guys, um, got a couple of geese. Actually, I showed them when they're little babies on the show. Probably come up, they're little fat little squawkers, and um, I forgot what I was talking about. I tried to read the chat and I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, my goose, my goose. Every once in a while, and this is about the fourth or fifth time it's happened where he just can't walk. He just stays sitting down for a couple of days. Did some reading up on it. Um, they said it could be parasites, so I gave him some parasite medicine, some antibiotics, and last time, after a couple of days, he just got up and started walking around again. Well, I think it was last Thursday or Wednesday. He was the same thing. He didn't come out of his pen. He can't walk. So it's really wet and raining. He was soaking wet. So I brought him in the bathroom and got him all warm, put him in a hot bathtub, let him soak, dried him off and then give him antibiotics. And today he started walking again. So, he still gets wet real easy. It's like the female goose doesn't get wet at all when she's in the rain. He just gets soaking. So I'm thinking it's a health issue with some oils or something. Let's bring up Dog Pound. He's brave enough to come up on my show.
Hey, how you doing, Pat? Thanks for having me.
Hold on here. Okay. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I did get the Ocean Forest Fox Farm. You had mentioned it in my chat here not long ago. And I got the dirt all mixed up. Got my new tents in. We got that one over there, and now we got that big one right there.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned before you were going to mix it up and let it set a little bit. If I remember right. That's never a bad idea.
I got right now. I mixed it up probably 2 days ago when I first got the dirt, and I'm just now starting the seed, so it's been inside. It's room temperature now, and we're doing all autos this first run. It's I don't know if you're San Diego Sunset.
Okay. So how do you like an autos?
Oh, I love growing autos. They're quick to grow, and I like putting the whole pot in front of me and trimming it like a bonsai plant. I find it real relaxing.
I got you, and it does look like a bonsai plant, kind of.
Right.
So yeah, trick. Excuse me. Go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
But tried into they call it cooking the soil, because you kind of, especially if it's really hot, it'll start breaking down, and you can speed up the process. Brew up a little batch of tea, pour it in there, let it soak in there, and let it age, because that biology that's in the tea is going to help break it down and make it readily available.
Okay.
Go ahead and throw a gallon or two of tea in there. I'm kind of curious. We used to pay. Ocean Forest it's like only 1 cubic foot, when they're normally 1.5 a bag, and it used to be like, I think it was like $13 here, maybe 15. What does it go for back there?
Oh, I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I can find their receipt real quick.
I'm kind of curious. I will ask him, Mr. Bastard. Hey, Run Boy, good to see you. You enjoying the rain? Cleaning out your homestead, washing everything down?
No, the receipt I had probably in the garbage a couple days ago.
Oh, that's all right. I'm just kind of curious of what the bulk. I imagine you paid over $20 a bag back there.
I couldn't even take a guess, really. I do know that one bag filled 2 5-gallon pots. That's it.
Yeah, it's about 11 gallons. It's a one cubic foot.
Yeah, so I got I used 2 bags with your mix, and I got 2 5 gallons filled and 1 7 gallon. So that covered everything.
Okay, good. You got your nutrients all taken care of?
What do you mean as far as nutrients?
Do you need any Ocean Bounty or Happy
Uh,
Tea?
n- I actually just ran out of the flour, but I have a full bag of the other. I'm
Happy
gonna
Endings tea?
yes,
It's green.
green and blue. That's how I always remember green and blue. I just used up the blue, but I have a full bag of the green. And once I unpack my stuff, I probably got another bag of each. So,
Okay. I
not
asked
too
you that.
bad. Huh?
How'd you like moving from the north to the south?
Uh, it's warmer here. Like we had snow just the other day for the first time. So that was nice.
No, actually, there was another one of our viewers, Josh Buchanan from Ingersoll's Gardens. He used to come on here, and then he moved, I think, to Florida. He said so. He was another one. He went from Michigan to Florida. We don't
Okay.
see too much. We don't see too much of him anymore. Maybe the warm, maybe the cold, because there's a lot of northeasters on here. Maybe that cold brings you to the show.
Now, Run
Oh,
Boy,
oh,
I usually don't use Fox Farm. I'm only using it this time because I'm just setting my grow up and I'm also rehabbing the house that I just moved into. And it was what they had at the grow store, which is 3 blocks from me where I live. So
okay. Now you're
that's why
piquing
I
my
got
interest.
Fox Farm.
So, Mr. Lost Dog, you got
Yes,
a
sir.
grocery store. What do they carry in their grocery store? I know they don't carry green bicycles.
No, and I've asked them about that a couple times. And once I unpack my boxes, depending on how many bags I have, I will take them a sample. And I've even mentioned it to them. But
Just you could do me a favor. Just get me their phone number, their name and phone number, and I'll follow up because it really helps if they've heard it before. So somewhere back in their mind, they've heard green bicycle. So if I call, they'll say, "Oh yeah, we've heard of you." So that gets me in the door. If they've never heard of me, they think I'm selling bicycles. So this will work. Give me their phone number. I need to improve my business this year.
yeah, dude, there's one 3 or 4 blocks from me. There's one 8 miles up in the next town, and about 20 miles up in a town after that, there's another one. So there's 3 of them right like on one road in a line.
Now, what kind of state is it? Recreational or none, or is it? I didn't
It's
think it was
both.
any. Oh, it's
It's
both. Okay.
it's medical and rec, but they just went rec last year and there's nowhere to buy it. But they're already letting people grow. So by the time they have someplace to buy it, everyone's gonna be like, yeah, whatever.
No, I'd love to get in that area, and 'cause, it is really easy. I have an easy system. It's good for home growers. Look, that's looking pretty good there, Buds. I don't think that's a blue dream though.
It's the Emerald Fire Auto.
Okay. Wow, that's an auto.
Yeah, it
You're
got big.
you're figuring the autos out, aren't you?
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot find those seeds, man. I just had them 4 or 5 days ago. That's why I planted the Sunset Sherbert. I cannot find my Emerald Fire seeds.
This is the Blue Dream.
Speaking of seeds,
This is the Blue Dream clone.
oh, that is
Yeah,
there.
right there.
Wow. See, that's a producer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to
Yeah.
snack up really nice. It's getting frosty. It's getting there.
Look what I got in the mail from a
Filled the tent.
Who sent you those?
shaman. He's actually a guy from Crescent City who used to live here. He comes on the show once in a while, and he mentioned it.
I'm
About that.
excused.
Isn't that nice?
Hi, Deborah.
There's 9 varieties. Bam. If any of my cousins are watching, if you want some seeds, hit me up. We'll get you some. No, I like that. That's the Blue Dream, huh, buds? And that's one plant?
No, this is the grape pheno.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, Run Boy, you let all the air out of my tires, Run Boy. Tell me where that place is because I need to go check it out.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Deborah. I do too.
I'm gonna toss it here in the chat, man. The name and
Hang
phone
on.
number of that place in the private chat for you.
Okay. I don't think that's a case where you would have to not put it in a private chat because when you're in business, you want that. You want your phone number to be known. Holy shit. Little emergency. Hang on here.
I heard that. Oh shit.
That is just water. Hello from New Zealand, I think. Stoic, welcome. You're probably our farthest guest tonight. And here we got Kess. I can't hear
What's
you.
happening, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight?
Very good, sir. How are you?
Oh, let's see here. Let me see.
So what's Bud showing us?
What's happening, everybody?
What's that beauty?
Okay. Sorry about that. I typed slow.
Okay.
I henpecked. Oh, 585.
Yes, we do add rock phosphate into I think both mixes we have rock phosphate. It's been a minute, but yeah. Actually, rock phosphate, if you want to get into the weeds a little bit, it's a nice mineral that has a bit of phosphorus in it, but it also could have a lot of heavy metals in it. The phosphates in general in nature tend to attract metal. So you get veins of metals in the in rock phosphorus. You got to be a little bit careful with it. But other than that, it is a nice product.
Okay, that's up there in the chat for you whenever you get time to copy that. If you need the address, I can give you that too.
I got it, sir. Thank you. I don't think they would care, right? If you put out their address in public, but I'm writing it down, and I will call them this week. I need it, man. I tell you, I'm be a little honest here. I guess if I could be honest. Now we get some crazy feedback. We'll see heaven or hell or infinity if you do this too much. My business needs to get bigger this year.
Okay.
We need to. In fact, I'll take.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
not too proud to get some ideas. I might not listen, but I'll take.
hold on, Pat. Last time I got some bags from you, they were just bags about that big.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's small bags. Now, do you have bags half that size that I could go someplace and drop off? Hey, here's a couple of sample bags. Try it in a grow for like one plant or something.
No, I don't. And actually, that's a great point. And what I've been doing is just biting the bullet, and I give those out as samples. But you're right. I probably should have half that size. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those one bags like perfectly will amend one bag of soil. So again, I kind of got to be a little careful who I give them out to. But if you ever go to a store and they said, "Hey, I would like to see some samples," I'll definitely send them half a dozen each or something. Let them throw them out there because really, it's hard to go on word of mouth alone. They kind of have to experience it, and it takes a minute. It takes a minute for them to like buy into it. Say, "Oh yeah, this is easy and it works really good." They kind of have to see that. So I understand that. So if you go in that store and say, "Hey, listen, I can get you some samples if you're interested." In fact, that's what I'll do when I call them, and I'll ship them maybe half a dozen of each. That's what I have a bunch. So
I tell you what, through Buds, I'll get you my new address, and if you just send me like of them smaller ones, like one or two of each, and I'll go up and just drop them off at the other grow stores up here.
Okay, I'll do that. Absolutely. And if anyone out there is listening and they might have some leads, get in touch with me because I need some leads. I'm not a good salesman.
Yeah, just like two of each, because there's only two more grow stars within 40 miles of me. So
Well, what's nice is I have to ship flat rate boxes through the post office. I'm a small time shipper, but those you can actually they're reasonable, right? $20, to ship anywhere. So I can get 4 bags of each. So I can get 8 bags in one of the big ones. So that's what I usually send out as 8. So that's what you'll probably get, which is a couple $100.
Yeah, but guaranteed I'll give them out. And once I do, I'll get like a business card from them that I'll be able to, like, I don't know, snap a photo and send to you so you have their number and shit.
Yeah, that would help. Yes. Yeah, I need some new strategies. Maybe Run Boy. He's got a lot of ideas for me.
Yeah.
I need some sales, Run Boy.
Think about that. Just enough a bag the size, just enough to do one plant, like 1 5-gallon pot, as sample bags to hand out to these stores and stuff.
That's a good idea. That's actually a good idea. And
yeah, because the one over here, it's 3 guys that own it, and they all grow. I mean, they're growing right there in the store.
no, that's that. You know what's paid off for me big in the past is when a store manager tries my product and they usually really like it. And when that happens, the money just rolls in from those stores. It's like a fucking wave sometimes. But those guys have all moved on. So I don't know. Actually, Run Boy, all my website prices are free shipping. So it's already included. And everything you can buy is based on a flat rate box. That I did. Oh, heck yeah. Or just get in touch with me, Deborah. I'll send you some stuff. No, you can just send it to me. Greenbicycles@yahoo.com, spelled like I misspell it. And that was a mistake. You can't be too freaking creative in business. Sometimes you overthink stuff. And Green Bicycles spelled wrong. First of all, Green Bicycles for wrong. Then you spell it wrong, a double wrong. And yeah, you live and learn. I've survived though a few years. Just paid my mortgage for a minute, so I can't complain. Let's see here. Okay, that was interesting, but it turns out like if they're big, they want a bunch of money. It's like an advertisement or something. I don't know. I've tried it. Sometimes I'll go on some of these shows and do giveaways. Maybe I need to do a few of those about right now, don't I? I have 25-pound buckets of Ocean Bounty, and I also have 50-pound boxes, and I also have 250-pound barrels and 1,000-pound sacks. So those are all our sizes, and I can make anything.
Hey, I got an idea. It's going to be outdoor season here, not too long in the near
Soon.
future. Maybe run a promotion or a discount on some stuff to get stuff moving and get product out there.
I should now here. Actually, before I even start doing that, I don't. This is crazy. I don't even know what I'm paying for my product at this moment. So I bet.
Well, that's awesome.
You got to know that before you can give too much discounts, right?
Right.
So I better look in it. But you're right. And that's another thing is my prices have not changed for 5 years, right? And inflation has hit everything has gone up. All my ingredients have gone up. The shipping's gone up. So it's like it's so hard to discount right now. When you know what I'm saying? When it's I haven't raised my prices a penny, but everything else has. So it's real hard for me to discount because I never had big margins. It's all about volume, right? In this kind of industry. So that's kind of a dilemma I'm going through right now too. But anyways, I'm crying a little bit. But no, it's tough. I'm doing my taxes and it's like, oh, it's not like the previous years. So, anyways, I see my two.
Well, you got to think too. We got more states coming legal. Some of them that have home grow, some that does not. But it should start picking back. You should pick up some new customers as the home grows start taking off in states and stuff as well.
Floor nugs, anytime. I'd love to come on your show. Let's arrange that. Absolutely. What did you just say, man? I'm sorry, Vesco. What did you say? It was something interesting because I thought it was interesting, but I checked out.
I was just saying that some new states are coming legal with home grow, and some there should be some new customers coming in another market or something.
And I think once a state just makes it legal, no matter what, you're going to start getting home because there's got people are going to say, yeah, right, I can grow it. My backyard just as easy, right? I think, you'll definitely get some growing starting to happen, I think, in general. But
now I can grow outside here, but it's got to be, and I got a small front yard and the backyard is open to the neighborhood. So, but it's got to be in a fenced in area where you can't see it from the road or anything. So, but I live sort of in town, so I can't grow in my yard, but you can grow outside in Virginia.
You could, and I'm going to explain something. And actually, I just thought of a great video to do. This is an old trick.
Pat's going to send me to jail.
Maybe, yeah. So be real careful because it could send you to jail. If you take a cannabis plant and you keep training it down right, so it doesn't like grow normal, you kind of more laid low. And if you go to I don't know where you get them anymore, but fake flowers, like with the wire stems, and you just wrap them around there, I swear to God, you could be 5 feet from that plant and you're not going to think it's a marijuana plant. You just think it's a flower plant. But you'd
have to keep that about 3 foot lower.
It's you keep it like a hedge. You twist in a bunch of fake flowers, and there's nobody going to say that's a marijuana plant.
Till it's too late.
Till it's too late. Till it starts smelling. It's like, that doesn't smell like a rose. And it's like, why do your flowers never fade? They've been there for months. So you got to be a little careful, but it really works. I mean, it disguises a plant like you can't imagine.
Jeez.
I ought to do a video on that.
Well, what would you say that with this using this Foxfire, because it does come a little hot, start adding tea about week 3 with the autoflowers?
Well, I don't. What I would do, honestly, if I'm going to give you advice, is if you were a customer, call me. I'd say mix the two together, the Ocean Bounty and because Ocean Forest is it's known for being very rich in nutrients, yes. but it's okay. It's not salt. So that's the So salts are the ones you can't be rich in. You could be really rich in, like you could grow a plant in bone meal, I think, by itself because it's just being released really slow from nature. So
but tea wise, making the tea, when would you start adding the tea to it?
Right away. The tea is not okay. The tea is not really hot. It's more it breaks stuff down, so it just makes stuff more available to the plants in a sense.
Okay.
I would add the tea right now while it's sitting for a couple weeks because that will speed up that process.
I'll tell you what. I usually anytime if it's a strain that I've grown before, I kind of know when it's going to start looking like it's getting hungry. When I know it's going to start getting hungry, I do the tea, and that activates the microbes in the system, and it gets to release and everything. And then, it gives me a little bit of time to get some more of the Ocean Bounty on top there and mix it into the soil or add soil on top of it or however you go about it.
A lot of things will work, but yeah, the tea I've watered every single watering with full strength tea, and from day 1 to the last day, and it'll be okay. It's a little too much nitrogen for me, but it's not going to kill anything.
I don't know, man. I saw Bud's plants go rainbow colors and stuff. That was great when he did that. It's a beautiful looking plant.
When he did what?
He was just every time he watered it, it was a T. It wasn't
Oh, okay.
in
Okay.
between. And
Okay.
his plant, it turned like brilliant reds and some yellows and some oranges, and it was like wow, like purplish reds. Yeah, that's a little too much.
You look at those. Yeah, Josh. Yeah, Josh is a good. Yeah, Josh is. You have to come and visit again, Mr. Kircher. I'd like to see you.
Just plant straight in the ocean boundary forest and top dress.
You can do that, and that'll work. That will work. Actually, I don't even like. I don't even like saying this because it's antithetical to what we talk about. But I've seen a lot of gardens, and probably the frostiest garden I ever saw. You know, it's like one that said, "Whoa, whoa." I don't even like saying it. It was Ocean Forest and House and Garden. So, but I don't know. I didn't taste it. Let's just say that I didn't taste it.
Okay, Pat.
There's a lot of things that work. I'm not sure. Yes.
Well, thanks for having me up, man. I'm going to take off, and I'll get a hold of you about stopping at those other stores too.
Get in touch with me. Send me your address, and I'll send you out a little package. I could use some legs on the ground, boots on the ground.
Not a problem, dude. You having yourself a good evening. Y'all be safe.
Take care. Let's go. Did I talk about last week about artificial intelligence?
We've mentioned it a few times. I'm not sure if we did last week.
No, I played. I'm sorry. I'm going to go off on another whole topic, but I played around it with a little bit just before it blew up. There's different kinds, right? The one that really got a lot of attention this week was one based. It can only produce text, like it can only write letters, right? It can't make art or anything, but it does text. That's all it can do. And it's called Chat GPT, and it's actually gotten so popular that it's almost unusable now because so many people are on it. The company went from zero money 6 weeks ago to be worth $29 billion today. And let me explain why. What you do is you get in conversation with this computer. You get in a conversation, right? So you would type something like, write me a computer program in the language of C++ that does X, Y, and Z, and they'll write you a computer program in less than a minute. Now think about what that's going to do to the world. And then you get in a dialogue, and then you say, well, can you add this? Can you add that? And it does it. Okay, it's just amazing what it can do. You can say, write me a 20,000 word essay, New York Times style, about any two subjects, and boom, you have it. And then you can say, well, could you add something else? And boom, you have it. It's going to change the world completely about what's available. School's already freaking out because actually that's all gone now as far as writing papers, because it does it literally instantly. And you could say, I want a 300 word essay at a 7th grade level. Boom, it's done instantly. It's insane.
Well, I tell you, technology has been making us dumber and dumber ever since, the beginning. And we're getting to that point where we can make a computer do just about anything that we need them to do, whether it's, like you said, writing a report, or I'm trying to get a job at so and so place, and I have to do some kind of an essay or something like that. So the AI is actually making humans less smart by having it do the work for them, and then when they get there, find out that they're not worth a shit.
No, our world has changed, and I'm not going to say that'll be. I saw this as another inflection point, and there's good and bad with it. The web. There's some good stuff about the web. Look what we're doing now. It's so cool. But there's a lot of bads. I mean, that's what's going to happen with AI. It's going to put a lot of people out to work. Another one I've been really playing around with. It's called Midjourney, and it's an artist program. It's for artists, right? So with Midjourney, you can type in a string of words like I was playing around today because sports are real big. I was like, San Diego Chargers in the stadium at midfield, and it'll be boom. It'll be a beautiful picture of that. But you can, instantly you get amazing artwork. That's all. It's never been done before. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but I kind of got into it a little bit this week, blowing me away what's available to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the edibles are kicking in, I got to say.
So what is the main objective for this AI program? I mean,
well, it could do it.
it's got to have it.
It's going to put people out of work.
It's got to have some kind of boundary if you're trying to make it for a specific reason.
It is, and actually, this one it was released to the public a couple weeks ago, maybe. And there are boundaries, and people, of course, are creative, computer people, so they're trying to get around so there are some things they've tried to put boundaries on, but you can see that where that's not going to happen in the, I mean, there's people who are going to do, there's other countries doing this, and no, what I wanted to do, and I think this would be a great idea. I think this would be a great, I don't know if it's been done yet, is you can actually have AI create 2 avatars that actually talk, right? And you can put in your voices. If I upload a 10-minute speech from me, it can save that, and anything I type in, it could sound exactly like how I would, right? So I was thinking of getting 2 avatars, like a show like this, right? But each one would be AI, and they would start a conversation between AIs, like have AIs talk to each other, because the AI is a conversation. It's not like you answer the question, it gives you an answer. It's like it gives you an answer, then you make changes to it. It's like I was playing, because to me, I think I'm talking about, I'm getting a little excited about this, I'm sorry. But to me, comedians are some of the most brilliant people on earth. Just the comedic mind is very, it's pretty intricate actually, right? To do comedy. So I asked it I think it was last Sunday. I was playing around about 11 at night. I said, write me a 5-minute comedy routine about getting old, and just see it start typing it out, right? And then I said, could you throw in a dog? Boom, it starts typing it out. And I said, could you make it circular? So it, the first joke relates to the last joke, and it does it. It's like, think of the people that are, that how it's going to change. A lot of people are saying, how can I make a 20-minute YouTube video with no faces? And I would like it to be very popular so it will make money. It'll give you a script to do. Follow the script and put it on YouTube and you'll make money. Then there's all kinds of bad things. Yeah, there's a lot of videos. You can see videos on YouTube how to make $6,000 a week with ChatGPT. The only problem with it is ChatGPT got so popular it's unusable because it's just overloaded all the time. But no, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of, it's just an interesting, good and bad, and I could see horrors of it. But yeah, I think it's people are doing businesses like where the AI. I know them before, like through Amazon, you can do it's very profitable. I think there's a bit of work to it, but like if I could have a web store and I never see anything, and all you do is you have products from other people. So they come to your web store, somebody buys it, and it's just all done automatically. It goes to another store, picks it, and drop ships it. It's called drop shipping, right? And that's a huge business because you just become a middleman, and AI is doing it for you. So there's a lot of crazy stuff out there. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like calculators before 70s, and when you had to do long division. It was important to be able to divide numbers. And now calculators, nobody divides long division anymore. In fact, a lot of people have no idea how to do it.
That's what my wife was saying just a minute ago. Like calculators used to be done by a human job, actually.
No, and another thing I talked about, this is how things change, and I thought about this as a math teacher. In the 60s, they had this space race, right, with the Cold War with Russia, and Russia was ahead of us. They put out the Sputnik, they scared the shit out of us. So the United States had this big thing on math and science, very important. It is math, science, and engineering. They do a lot of good things, bad things, and good things. But so they had this big push in the '60s to do math and science, right? Good thing. '70s came around, and the computers become, real prevalent. '80s they kind of took over business, right? '90s, and now it's for sure. And I was actually an engineer and a scientist in the '80s and '90s. I never did a math problem ever as a scientist, and I worked at high levels. Never did a math problem because the computers do all the math problems. Because no company is going to hire you to sit there and do math problems, and a computer can do it instantaneously with no mistakes, right? So you're not even really allowed. You do CAD. There's a lot of CAD stuff. All the math is done by computers. So this idea that you have all these people needing to do math anymore, is it a bad thing? No, I think math is amazing. It does some really good things, but the paradigm shifts and it changes. And now it's more important to be a computer programmer than to be math, to know how to do math. So and the calculator, the cell phone, same thing. That cell phone is in our hands now, and that is it making us dumber? Probably way dumber, because all that information is like, why do I have to learn that? AI is taking this and like putting it on steroids, as far as I could tell. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna try to
Right.
catch up. I'm gonna try to catch up on some of the yeah.
It's funny
Yeah,
when you first said when you were first saying AI, my brain kind of glitched for a minute because I've been on kind of the farming path, and I was like, artificial insemination. When did we talk about that?
no, it's all dog pound. It's 2021, actually, not 2011, 2021. Another. Let's see here. No, it's no, yeah, we're seeing a lot of it. We talk a lot about this for a long, long time. We were agrarian. I think that's a word, where most of us lived on farms, right? You grew our own food, and that's what most of us did for hundreds, if not thousands of years, was the general. And now things are changing so rapidly that we've kind of lost a lot of that just in a couple of generations. Just my grandparents knew how to do that, but I don't think my mom can. Let's see here. Interesting. We got. Yep. So we're.
It's so hard. I shouldn't say so hard. You would figure, because anytime you type anything into YouTube, there's a video for it. So you kind of don't even have to really go to school to learn much anymore. But I was sitting there thinking for a sec, I was like, man, is there anything anybody hasn't? It's got to be hard to try and think of if you're a video producer like that, videotaping something informational to put on to YouTube that somebody hasn't already done. I've never put something into the search menu and not gotten a response.
No, there is a lot, but I think that comes down to what I don't know, in a sense. Yeah, that's like, why does one guy video do better? It has, well, there could be a lot of reasons, marketing or personality. Some people, it's amazing that I come on. That's why I don't get like 20 people watching. I'm an old guy, but there's different demographics, and no, but that's the things you can ask AI, and it's kind of like having a conversation with someone who's pretty smart. I mean, very smart. And here's one thing that I'm hoping happens is and it's going to take over, like graphic arts. That's got you guys are, because they can do beautiful, I mean, gorgeous, right up to par, every bit as professional standards in literally less than a minute. Where it might take a week or a month for a graphic artist to pull something like this off. I don't know. What I'm hoping it's going to wipe out is freaking lawyers. Because if you think about it, this AI, what they do is they store text, and that's all they're doing is looking at all the shit that they've ever accumulated, but they can look at it, right? And if you just had the Law Library of Congress in that thing, you know, you wouldn't need a law firm anymore because it would just, you know, you just say, you know, it would be the best lawyer there ever was. So I hope it gets rid of lawyers. And the law firm that decides to start using AI, I'm sure they probably do already, should be advertising that. Good.
I mean, lawyers are really, they go to school to learn where to look for the answers that you need, not necessarily to know all the answers.
No, it's all based upon text and case law. You know, it's all case law. So
Right.
it's all big lawyer firms have a big law library, right? And they hire these people to go in there and look through those books. That's what I'm saying. This AI is bam. Oh, that's on my mind right now. You know. Oh yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, I know that. You know, not only that, it could look at every judge's ruling and you know, it could navigate you through the system to get the best possible outcome for you. You know, but anyways.
And you know what though? The sad thing is since we're talking about this, is a judge won't go back to his chambers and look for old cases. It's the lawyer that has to do it. So
Yeah.
if you don't pay the high enough price for a lawyer that'll go and do that, then you're gonna lose.
You know, even if and I imagine it happens quite a bit if it's a good judge who's experienced and been there a minute, they probably all the time they're saying, you know, they know what argument they could use to rebut that argument that would make the case change completely different from what the jury saw, but they probably can't say anything, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's like that Miracle on 34th Street, that courtroom hearing what they're saying is real or not. Well, in 1932, they brought mail to this. Huh?
Did you just say?
The movie Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, okay.
How at the courtroom scene where they were trying to prove if Stan was real or not.
And they brought in a letter addressed to him. The mail delivered the mail to him, and that was it. That was good.
The federal government recognized him as.
So, do we have any good ideas how we're going to? Yeah, I don't know if anyone, the bird person, knows why geese might stop walking for a few days and then start walking again. Do you want to see my?
Maybe
goose?
they got an egg stuck sideways.
It's a boy.
You got your goose? Yeah, why not?
Want to see him? He's in my bathroom. I'm keeping him warm. He's getting wet. Like,
yeah, go.
You know, he couldn't. Why is that? Like, you know, his sister doesn't get wet. She's, you know, in the rain. He just soaks up. So something's going on with his oil or something in his skin.
Yeah.
Let me get him. He'll be a little bit of content.
All right, gotcha. So today we're going to take a field trip to the farm. See, I can't go out and get any of my animals and bring them in. I mean, I could, but it'd be a mess. They like to poop and pee every time I grab one of them. And I actually just took some to the auction.
All over me. Okay.
That is a goose.
Actually, he seems real healthy. He just gets wet. Look at his eyes. Ever seen his eyes? Stop moving.
Has he got blue eyes?
They're blue. Isn't
Yeah.
that cool?
That is pretty cool.
Oh, I just shit.
See, I told you, if I bring my animals in the house, they just start shitting all over. Oh, that's funny. Funny shit.
Clean up on aisle 9. They shit too much. that thing shit through a goose. There's something about that because they shit a lot.
Were you able to hear me?
No. No.
When you were getting a goose, I was telling them, I said that if I went out and got one of my animals, brought them in, man, they just start shitting all over the place.
Yeah,
and here you come, bring a goose in here, and it shits on you.
That's what they do. Every time you move them or they get just, that's what they do. They shit, especially birds.
Yeah, as soon as I go out there to my critters, it's like they all come running to the gate and then they individually start squatting and peeing right in front of me. Like you guys couldn't have done that anywhere else out here.
I'm gonna
But
open.
I
I
also
gotta open a window. Don't smell good either.
I took a couple of goats to the auction yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Was it
how'd that go?
yesterday? Friday. Pretty good. I got about what I thought I was going to get for them. I took my male, the big tan one that we call it Barry. I took him to the auction, and I took the little Spanish goat that was pregnant. I took her to the auction. I got 100 for her, or I'm sorry, 120 for her, and 220 for the male. So
Oh,
I did all right.
that's not bad. So they were bidding on them.
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of- Okay. So is that kind of a little bit of a rush? Did it get to the number where you did it
Yeah,
get to the
especially
number
when
you did
I'm. Yeah, it is because when you're sitting there and seeing all these other goats come through, because I still need more females. I just got rid of the one male and the smallest female that just wasn't getting any bigger. I mean, she was putting on weight, just not getting any stouter. So she's one of those animals you got to call. Um, but yeah, I'm sitting there seeing all these goats come through, and some of them are pregnant, and one of them had already had a litter and had triplets, and they were going for like $100. I'm like, man, I only knew how much I was going to get for mine. And of course, mine come up at the end or right at the end of the goats and the beginning of sheep, and I don't want nothing to do with no sheep.
No, I imagine that the order of those the auctions and all that stuff. There's a science to it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you what, yes, there is, and some understand the science and some don't. Um, but it's also kind of based off of what kind of buyers are there. Is there a bunch of homestead buyers, or is there, a couple slaughter buyers? I mean, it kind of depends on what your crowd is too.
I'm gonna someone brought up a sore point with me. Do you mind if I address it? It's going
What's
to get
that?
dramatic. It's going to get dramatic. Okay.
All right.
This guy here. Let me tell you something about my web store. My web store loses money. Recently, they're trying to extort $129 a month from me to take, so it makes my website a secure location. $129 a month, those bastards. Because now, if you go to my website, it says it's not secure. How many people?
Isn't that extortion?
That's extortion. That's that.
Right.
I'm not going to do anything else with web stores. I do not like them. It's an extortion. So nobody buys anything from my web store. It costs me more money. It loses money every year. It always has. And they extort you $129 a month. They want me to pay so I can have HTTPS instead of HTTP. So everyone who visits it, there's like a warning. This is not secure. So who's going to enter your credit card information from that? It's a little sore spot with me. I'm sorry, but they pinch and
Right.
squeeze the little guys so much. In Amazon, I've been selling with Amazon 5 years since I've had my web store. They know that, and they know they compete against it. My web store is cheaper, right? So what do? They bury my stuff. If you type in green bicycles, happy endings tea, you have to scroll down. If you type exactly that, there'll be pages of products before you find it. Now, how messed up is that? And I pay them monthly for that. Man. Anyways, I feel better.
Man,
The thing about
it-
hydroponic systems, they don't do well for organics in the sense that they tend to organic stuff. There's a lot of biofilm because they're bioactive. So you got biology involved with organics, and that usually doesn't go good with pumps and water tanks and that kind of stuff. So They're not a real good mix yet, but I know what you're saying.
It's like you could, if you really felt like cleaning reservoirs and pumps every 3 days, because that's about as long as it's going to take before it starts clogging all your little auto injectors and everything else with biological stuff. It's something
So
growing.
you
It's gonna.
you can do it, but it's not real conducive. And quite honestly, and I'll talk a little bit about this. Remember when you talk about like I should move to the food market. Well, let's talk some numbers about that. I think I mentioned this before, and I think we're all really going to have to worry about food. My partner is actually a big player in the industry of fertilizer in the agricultural industry. And he was telling me about like 2 years ago, I think I mentioned on here nitrogen, and we're talking ammonium nitrate. That's what farmers use. That's what produces our food, believe it or not. Now, and you're going to know why here pretty soon. You were paying $160 a ton for ammonium nitrate, I believe. Right. I think this year it's $800 or $900 a ton worldwide. This is a worldwide, this is what powers the agriculture around the world, right? So these are made in Ukraine and all, big chemical factories produce ammonium nitrate. And it went from $180 a ton to what, $800 or $900 a ton. So that's going to affect worldwide food prices for sure. So now, okay, so that's salt. That's synthesized fertilizers, cheap fertilizers that work. They do a lot of bad things, but they do produce a lot of stuff, right? It's not necessarily the best stuff, but it weighs a lot, whatever. My fertilizer sells for retail for about $3,000 a ton, more than that. So how I can't compete if I'm selling my products for roughly $3,000 a ton. And even though they're not, they're used to paying $160 a ton. That's the difference. It's a worth it, that's the yeses and nos of this. You're up here. I mean, that's the beans of the issue. I would love to sell the regular farmers, but there's not. They'd laugh at me. And farmers who actually are into organic farming, they're doing a lot of their own composting and sourcing stuff from their areas. I do that, so you don't have to, kind of deal.
This guy.
Anyway,
We've been gone all day. All right. Can I do the show, please? Thank you.
Yes, the cost equations. So yeah, those are some of the numbers. So it's like, well, why don't you sell to, and if someone wants to grow in their garden at home or whatever, it's great. But yeah, a wheat farmer is not going to even look at me. I hope it worked for you.
So why would that? Why is that? I mean, I get that the cost over acreage to grow something like that would need a lot of weight. What are they using? Maybe this is the better question. What are they using that's so much different? Well, I guess they really don't work. They really aren't working organically because they're using a lot of chemicals. But theirs is just pretty much a salt based.
Okay, and think about that. Let's look at ammonium nitrate. You could probably have a warehouse, laboratory facility, chemical place that had, I don't know, dozen people working full time at this place, where these guys could be producing literally tons, right, of this fertilizer a day, just with 6 people. Now with my fertilizer, I have bone meal, I have alfalfa meal, I have 20 some ingredients that all come from farms or a mine, right? So every one of those ingredients, how many hands has to touch them? They have to be planted, or they have to be fertilized, they have to be watered, they have to be taken down, they have to be taken apart, shipped. So each ingredient for an organic fertilizer, unless you bring it locally from your own place, which that's the way you should do it. If you think about it, how much more manpower it takes to get a pound of alfalfa or a pound of anything that's grown organically compared to a pound of ammonium nitrate, where literally I could go out my garage and make a pound of it. I could make 500 pounds myself really easy. Actually, it's not hard to make at all, but you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so cheap and it's so seductive, and it works, but it ruins the soil over time. It kills the biology, and there's that biology is important. So we're starting to figure some of these things out, but it's really hard to compete with salt. And what's interesting is I can compete with salt in the weed growing industry. It's just my profit margins are really low. Theirs are extremely high. One of those $120 gallon bottles of whatever label X bullshit salt stuff might cost a nickel, and they're selling for 120 bucks. You know, the profit margins are insane with salts because if you think about the manpower to create them is tiny. They're all done in a laboratory with machinery. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm sorry about that.
No, we're actually getting science difference between some agricultural and organic.
If anyone out there knows a good marketer, so I really do need to. I'm horrible at this stuff. I'm a big idea person. I like big ideas. I hate details. I hate following through with stuff. If you've followed along my program, I'm sure you've seen that. But I need someone to. I do. Otherwise, you know, I'll be honest. I don't want to cry, or it is what it is. I've been in business since 2013, right? So almost 10 years, basically. I've been in business. Not bad run, but maybe not next year. Maybe not next year. We'll have to see. We need things to change. Help. Anyways. Yeah, they went to yeah, I know they're buying. Yeah, because that was my thing. When you buy those salt-based fertilizers in bottles, you're paying basically to ship water. And water's heavy. And they used to ship it from freaking Holland. It was nutty. But anyways, they finally got smart about that.
Well, maybe by this time next year, not maybe. It's kind of what I'm going to be doing. Like all the teas that I brew, all the remaining stuff put in the bottom of a pot goes out to where our garden is. So along with the permaculture that I'm going to be doing with our goats and having my neighbor run his cattle over on our property twice a year, going to kind of show you the difference on how you can regenerate life and nutrient back into the soil for, you know, healthy plant growth, whether it's out in your field or in your garden or whatever other hobbies grows you have.
No, and that's why, like, you know, you need more than a suburban house to grow food. You need a little bit of land. I don't know if it's a quarter acre, a half acre, an acre to sustain a family. I imagine it's in that boundary range. But the more, you know, when you have that land where you can, and then it's not monocropped, you know, you have chickens, you have a sheep, you have a cow, you have goats or whatever, you have different crops. And you got things that are symbiotic with each other. You know, you get fertilizer from the animals and food for the animals, right? So that's easier to do, but you need a little land. And we started shoving everybody real close together and say, let's plant grass because it looks, and they used to make people, I think it's laws where you have to grow grass some places, which is just insanity for some reason. We should have to grow food in our soil. And I'm rambling. I apologize. No, I don't. It's what I'm due. Sorry. Let's see here.
Well, out here, we've got I don't have a whole lot of real, what you would call grass. We have some wild Bermuda, a little buckwheat, and something called broom grass, and a lot of little mesquite trees that have these thorns that keep trying to grow every time you cut them down. We're literally going to add microbiology into the soil and get some of the natural grasses to come up and let those roots do the breaking down of the soil. And it's going to be a couple-year project. It's not going to happen over a year, but I think I forget what that system is called, but when you do it, it's like something like the first 2 or 3 years you get your regular grasses that grow, And like by year 5 or 7, you get the seeds that have been way down in the soil from the older growth, breaking up the soil, making the spaces, rotting, becoming food. It lets other seeds that are way down get germinated or whatever the hell that kind of, I forget what that cycle thing's called, but that's what I'm going to be doing here. This is going to be a real pretty green little patch in the middle of this little desert.
Awesome. That's a great project. And yeah, we need to see the progress of that happen. Let's see here. Let's see. Land shark. I don't know if you're talking, I think you're talking about salts, but actually not true. Salts are inorganic chemistry. Petroleum products are the basis for organic chemistry, believe it or not. Almost all modern medicines and plastics and stuff are based on petroleum products. But salt fertilizers, actually, that's another thing that's kind of interesting. Salt fertilizers don't have carbon. Like petroleum products are all carbon based, right? Hydrocarbons. Salts are no carbon, and plants need carbon. So, in fact, it's the most essential. I think number one essential element for a plant is carbon, right? That's it. It's 90% carbon, I believe. Call me on that one. 90% of your plant is made out of that molecule carbon. Now, when you feed it alfalfa, there's carbon alfalfa. When you feed it House and Garden or Miracle Grow, there's no carbon in there. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Anyways, I'm rambling, and I'm okay with that. But we got over an hour, so what do you think? Got anything else? Any questions out there? I like talking about the AI. Actually, kind of fascinated me. And if somebody wants to try it, it's not. What I would do is check out a video on YouTube. There's a ton of them to get an idea. It's not real user friendly, and they'll give you. And what it is, the deal with the drawing programs is like they give you computer time. The first like 25 minutes is free, so you have 25 minutes of mainframe because you need huge big computers to do this. Your computer can't do this, so you're buying computer time. But the one I use is called Midjourney, MID Journey. And Josh, if you're listening, you need to check this out big time. And what you'll do is you just type in keywords like anything, and it will do something. And then you can adjust it and play around with it. But you can do sports. You can do like I did Jeff Beck on stage, and it did these beautiful paintings of Jeff Beck playing guitar on stage. And I did Rory Gallagher, another one of my favorite guitar players. So you got to. It's called Midjourney. If you have a chance, it'll probably take you an hour, maybe half hour. It depends on but it's not real user friendly. But once you get to it, it says boom, and it's like less than a minute. You get your picture, and you get four versions every time. And then you can either pick one version, say I want variations of this version, or you can upscale it where you can actually make it a higher resolution and a bigger picture for whichever one you choose. It's really interesting. I did one. I said I want 2 skeletons sword fighting on the beach at night, the full moon. Boom! It was awesome. It's like CG. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm not hooked. It's fun. It's interesting to play with. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, my screen's breaking up and freezing. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm gonna jump off of here.
Okay, this is a good time to. I guess, a good time to check out if you're interested in art and graphics. Do a YouTube video on Midjourney AI, and it's a trip. Anyways, that's it tonight. We've been here over an hour. Good night. Get a good night's sleep. I'll probably be back next week. It might be, if possible. We're gonna have some guests on that'll discuss the Cowboy Cup, but not guaranteed. I should know later in the week, and we'll probably advertise it if we do. Okay. Good night. Peace. Good night. Love. I got to clean up goose shit.